Hi Wildings, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing an intuitive tarot card reading on the Wilding Tarot channel for the past, present and future of your current connection. This could be a older connection, it could be a newer connection, kind of whatever your situation is. I'm hoping to get channeled messages for a variety of situations that you might be in. I didn't do my normal intro today, guys, because I have been a little bit unwell. I wasn't actually sure if I was even going to film today, but I did have a kind of like calling to come on and do this video, so there must be some sort of messages out there that people need to hear today. So here I am, but hopefully the video will still be good even though you won't see my face today. I'm still a little bit like getting better, so definitely don't feel my best aesthetically, but yeah, I am healing. So if I'm a little bit sporadic in posting at the moment, it's because I'm getting over a bug, but yeah, let's get into your video. So as always, I've left a brief description of each reading in the very bottom of the description box. If for any reason you're practicing some sort of self-care, like avoiding triggers or only opening yourself up to certain readings. But for everyone else, I would recommend choosing a pile based on your intuition. So either pile 1, 2, or 3. And wherever you feel drawn to, I will see you there in a super short moment, just using the timestamps in the description box below to head there, and I will see you there. Hey there, pile 1, welcome to your reading for the past, present and future of this current connection. It is probably going to be like more of a existing connection, but it could be new, so whatever your situation is, feel free to stick around for some channeled messages regarding like essentially the timeline of this connection. So if you chose this beautiful rose quartz crystal, then this reading is probably for you. However, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. This is a general reading, so there will be some messages here for specific people, and there may be some interpretations of the cards that could be slightly altered for your particular situation if your energy deviates from the collective a little bit more than everyone else. But we're first just going to go ahead and get some general themes of this reading using this astrology deck. Do we have any more themes for part 1, please? Thank you. Okay, so part 1, the cards that we have for the themes for you is the Mercury retrograde card. So the Mercury placement has a lot to do with our thinking and communication. It corresponds with both the 3rd house of like communication and messages and Gemini energy, as well as the 6th house of like daily routine and like our work and health and kind of like general life stuff. It is ruled by both Virgo, which is a mutable earth sign, and Gemini, which is a mutable air sign. And then we also have the 8th house of endings and beginnings. So the 8th house corresponds with Scorpio energy, which is a very transformative energy. Scorpio is obviously a fixed water sign, and it is ruled by both Mars and Pluto. So Pluto is that very transformative energy, and Mars is kind of like that passion and drive kind of energy. So the 8th house, while it does signify a lot of cycles and beginnings and endings, it also signifies like sex and metaphysics and kind of like all of that really kind of woo-woo stuff. Then we also have the Jupiter return, which kind of like is an astrological event that kind of maximizes the placement of Jupiter, Yeah, guys, I've been sick, you can tell. My thinking is not not the best. But anyway, the Jupiter placement has a lot to do with luck and abundance. And it corresponds with the 9th house, which is ruled by Sagittarius. And it has a lot to do with like faith and spiritual development and travel and learning, especially like kind of like higher education and spiritual like lessons. The Sagittarius energy is like a immutable fire sign. It's very like curious. It's a seeker and a teacher and a philosopher. So yeah, there's like pretty much all just like a lot of mutable energy here, a little bit of fixed energy. But just looking at these cards, like honestly, like I'm getting a pretty big picture. I would say this is probably a separation situation with someone that you're kind of like going through a big kind of like ending and reinvention with, to bring about like kind of a different relationship essentially. But let's get a little bit more specific using these traditional tarot cards. Yeah, so this is another change card. So yeah, this connection, I'm guessing, is definitely going through a big change. Can we clarify this 2 of Pentacles energy, please? And this Page of Cups energy, please. And the King of Swords energy, please. And the Temperance and King of Cups energy. Pile 1, this is almost definitely a connection from the past that's being reinvented right now and potentially brought back around for a new cycle. But the old cycle is definitely ending. Like what's in the past is pretty much put in the past by now. And the new ending is going to mean a lot of change when it comes to this connection. So I'm getting the kind of the change that's happening right now in the present moment, probably while the 2 of you are in separation, just based on how the cards have come out, has a lot to do with being much more secure and stable within yourself. I'm getting from the both of you that in the past, the 2 of you were definitely just like not necessarily the most secure and stable place for each other, because neither of you were the most secure and stable place for yourself. And that's definitely something that led to the destruction of this relationship the first time around. And it's something that in the present moment, the 2 of you are doing a lot of healing and change around in order to bring about kind of this new dawn when it comes to being much more secure for yourself first, and then in turn for the other person, so that in the future you'll be able to experience kind of like this new dawn when it comes to love. So the Page of Cups generally indicates like new love, but also like an abundance of like feeling and emotion and romance and like all that really, really good stuff. I think both of you are kind of entering into this new dawn of like power and clarity and like stepping up in your like kind of relevant archetypes and kind of living in your full potential. The Magician is the first card of the like number 1 card, like after the Fool. Like the Fool represents kind of like nothingness and like pure consciousness, but then the Magician's like that first incarnation. It's like very cardinal energy. It's very much kind of like kind of a very pure energy, I would say. So you're kind of like both looking for this like power and purity within yourself at the moment, in order to best experience this like new love and new reality together. It seems like your person especially has done or is doing a lot of work, kind of like learning about spiritual development in more of a active sense. Like, I think they probably were developing like mentally and emotionally a lot in the past, but I wouldn't say it was like necessarily like spiritually led. Like, it was just like them evolving as a human, whereas now there's definitely this more spiritual connotation to their learning, based on like basically this connection. Like, it's taught them about this like whole other spiritual development of like spiritual like element of life, sorry. So they're really like learning a lot about it. The Eight of Pentacles is a very like learning energy, and like has a lot to do with education. It's like a sun in Virgo, so it's very much about kind of revealing the self and the identity, in terms of like how you think, and like really evolving the thinking. And then the King of Swords is like kind of a similar energy in that it's like a very intelligent, courageous kind of archetype. So yeah, this person's like definitely entering into this like new dawn of power when it comes to this King of Swords energy, like based on what they're learning at the moment. And also, like, it seems like your person is also becoming much more emotionally balanced. I'm sensing in the past that maybe they were a little bit emotionally shut down in some way. Like, I wouldn't say necessarily completely emotionally unavailable, but just like, I think their emotions were just like potentially getting the better of them in a lot of situations. Like, maybe they were being like overly stubborn or defensive, or, you know, like all that sort of stuff. Whereas now they're definitely much more calm and content when it comes to their emotional world, because they're just like understanding a lot more about life and a lot more about spiritual development. And I'd say for you, like, this time has really kind of developed your emotional but also psychic gifts. I'm sensing that like you're really learning about what you want and what makes you satisfied and what your gifts are, like what you can like give back to the world, and you're really refining your ability to like sense and intuit a lot of things. Like, I'm getting lots of psychic abilities are like developing for you in this time. But let's see what else we have for you guys in terms of the past, present, and future of this connection. So we have the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups and King of Cups are like a mated pair. It indicates that some sort of like divine connection or partnership. So the two of you probably are like some sort of divine counterpart energy, whether that's like a soulmate contract or like a twin flame contract or whatever it might be. You're definitely like kind of, this Nine of Pentacles is very much about like what we were talking about in terms of like developing psychic and spiritual and emotional and romantic gifts. And then this Queen of Cups is very much like the embodiment of that in terms of kind of like the peak feminine of the cup suit. So yeah, I can sense from the two of these coming out together that or coming out and wanting to be put together, sorry, is about like you kind of really reaching your fullness, and you figuring out what makes you feel like really whole and complete and successful in life. And I'm getting that might not necessarily be to do with like what people might think of as being traditionally successful. Like, maybe you've realized that kind of like love and emotion and your spiritual development are like way more important to you than like kind of having a career and earning money, which is like so fine. Like, you do you figure out what's actually best for you. Yeah, so it seems like you're definitely both coming to this kind of peak when it comes to like sharing your gifts with the world and being like a more emotionally stable. So there seems to be some sort of disconnection at the moment when it comes to like the connection between the divine and the physical. So I'd say you're definitely in separation from this person, but like, to be honest, I'm a little bit confused why this is coming out in reverse instead of the right way up. Because to me, it seems like you guys should be at this stage connecting in the physical and bringing your connection into the physical, because it seems like all the work that you've done, like, you're in such a good place. Like, I don't understand why this card is kind of telling me that you're disconnected. Like, you're connected in the divine, like you're connected on this spiritual level, on this King of Cups, Queen of Cups, like divine counterpart level, on this like 5D level, but yeah, you're not connected in the 3D. And to me, that's confusing. Like, this card in particular is like Sun in Scorpio, so it has to do with transformation. So like, I'm getting that it's definitely been necessary in the past for you guys to be apart in order to bring about that transformation, especially when it comes to each of your ego and like more egoic side. Like, you had a lot of work to do. But as far as I can feel from the energies on both sides, like, kind of feels like you should be done, to be honest. Like, I'm a little bit confused. Like, you should be reuniting as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I think your intuition is probably saying the same thing. Like, I can feel from you intuitively, you're probably more of this divine feminine archetype, like, and your person's more of that divine masculine. You intuitively know that the two of you should be together. It seems like, yeah, they're not coming towards you for whatever reason. They're not bringing this like chariot, like making a bold move towards you energy. Even though the two of you are definitely a destined partnership with this Wheel of Fortune card. So there's some sort of block. But like, it seems like it's a block, but not like a necessary block, if that makes sense. It seems like nothing's happening, but there's no reason for nothing to be happening. Like, I would assume that you guys potentially will connect in the very near future. Like, that seems to be definitely on the cards. But maybe yeah, I'm just like so honestly like so confused why the two of you aren't together right now. It just doesn't make any sense. So this Hanged One card can indicate being like overpowered or like uncertain by something. I'm getting with the Queen of Pentacles energy coming out, which is like a very mothering and nurturing energy, that this person may feel overpowered when it comes to your energy. Like, you seem to kind of like have everything together in their eyes a lot more than them. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think that might be a projection on their end, that you're like way more together than they are. But yeah, I think they're feeling like a little bit uncertain and maybe overpowered by your energy, and they're just like essentially like they want to come in, and I think both of you are definitely feeling this call to come back together, but they're not making a move, and that seems a little bit weird to me. Like, I understand that they have like uncertainties and insecurities that they're still working through, but as far as I'm concerned, you guys like should be like reuniting. This is like, as far as I'm concerned, the two of you are like pretty much ready for each other. I think maybe your person is still like searching for a little bit more emotional like abundance and satisfaction in themselves first. I'm sensing that maybe this like kind of overpowering energy is about them putting you on a pedestal, and them not really knowing how to take you off that pedestal so that they can approach you, and almost like them like feeling like approaching you is the only way for them to be happy, I'm hearing. And I think they want to like kind of correct that thinking first before they come in, because I don't think they really want to come in with that kind of like desperation. Like, it's kind of like bringing bad juju essentially into the connection. So yeah, like I don't mean to think that this, like, I normally don't think anyone's like stuff that they're going through is trivial, but at the moment I'm kind of feeling like this person's like, essentially it seems like they're creating their own blocks. Like there's no blocks in terms of like higher order path or thinking for you guys not to be together right now. The blocks are all definitely coming from your person, and probably like you love them, so you're going to have a lot more compassion for them than what I necessarily am. So maybe like you're hearing this and not thinking the same thing as me of like kind of, what are you doing, dude? Like get your shit together. Like you're ready. You just like overcomplicating it. But yeah, like that, there's definitely this energy here of like, go on, dude, like just go, just, but you know, I'm sure they'll figure it out. Like such is life. Potentially what the two of you could be doing to support this reunion is really working on like manifestation energy and like manifesting like what you really want in life, writing things down, and like journaling and all that sort of stuff. Like that will definitely help this situation, and just like giving it some good energy so that what you both obviously want can come into fruition. Because it seems like there's no real spiritual reason for keeping you apart anymore. Like you've both changed so much, like you've both grown so much, and in the way that you needed to in order to be able to revisit this connection. Yeah, you've both like become much more sovereign beings. Like the two of you have definitely just like grown into like kind of this powerhouse, and it's definitely time to really create like the new life that you want using like this manifestation. I think for you it will be really important for you to kind of like accept that this person just like kind of needs to sum up the willpower to re-broach this connection, and just like letting them do that in their own time. Like there's no real reason why the two of you should be apart right now. So like in my opinion, just as much as you can, just accept this for what it is at the moment and just roll with it. Can we get anything else for pile 1, please? Yeah, I think definitely while this person's not making a move, but it feels like intuitively both of you know that they probably should be, or like there's no reason for them not to be. Like don't get in your head and like kind of create that not enough story, and kind of tear down some of the work that you've done. Like that's definitely not what this time is about. This time's about acceptance, not like going backwards. But the answers you need are coming. So it seems like maybe the reason why this person isn't reaching out to you, like they'll explain that to you when they do reach out. It's the answers are on their way, so just like do what you can to accept it for now. Potentially one of the reason might be the nature of how this connection separated, how you guys kind of essentially broke each other's heart and caused each other a lot of pain the first time this connection ended. Like that might be one of the reasons for some of you why this person is not reaching out just yet, but they're definitely reminiscing and learning from the past, like you both are, and you're definitely perceiving the past in a whole new light, and you're both like expanding into this like new level of happiness and joy and playfulness and oneness. And it does seem like the two of you are really ready to enjoy each other. And like enjoy actually being with each other in the physical and not having this connection be entirely in the 5D anymore, to be honest. Can we get any affirmations for pile? Lol, this is the funniest card to come out. I trust in the divine timing of the universe. Yeah, this is really important for you in terms of like this acceptance. You just gotta like accept it and roll with it and like let it be what it is right now. And I understand that that's like frustrating because like as far as like spirit's concerned, there's no reason for the two of you to be like continue to be apart right now. But you just got to let this person like step into that chariot energy and make a move when they're ready. So until then, accept, trust, manifest. But I think I'm going to leave that there, pile one. I hope you got everything out of this reading that you really wanted and needed. It has been a pleasure reading for you. My name is Jade Rewilding, and I will be on this channel for whenever you're needing some intuitive tarot card readings or messages. But until then, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, I would really, really appreciate it because it will help me stay on your feed for more of these readings. Until then, ciao. Hey there, pile 2. Welcome to your reading for your past, present, and future of your current connection. So if you chose this beautiful blue apophyllite crystal, then this reading is probably for you. However, as always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and meditate on the rest, because this is a general reading, meaning that there will be some messages here for specific people. And there may be some interpretations of the cards that could be slightly different for your situation if your energy slightly deviates from the collective a little bit more than everyone else's. So yeah, just bringing your intuition and discernment to any general reading that you might receive. But let's get into it. I'm first just going to get the general themes of your reading using this astrology deck. Spirit, can I please have the general themes of pile 2's reading, please? Can we have general themes of pile 2's reading, please? Can we have general themes of pile 2's reading? Any other themes of pile 2's reading? So pile 2, the themes that we have is the fire element. It corresponds with the wand suit in the tarot, and also Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries energy. We also have Aries energy here as well. It corresponds with the first house of like self and identity, and the Mars placement, which has a lot to do with like what excites and inspires you, your passion, your drive, and kind of like a lot of like that kind of like yang, more like forceful energy. Aries is obviously a cardinal fire sign, and yeah, it's clarified by the affirmation I am. We also have the 10th house of the world coming out. So the 10th house is ruled by Capricorn and Saturn energy. So Capricorn is a cardinal earth sign. And the 10th house has a lot to do with who we are in the world in terms of our life purpose, kind of like how our life purpose fits into the world. So it is associated a lot with our career. But like it's more broad than that, especially if your life purpose isn't necessarily like kind of a traditional career type thing. And yeah, Saturn is a very responsible, kind of like living in your truth and honoring your soul contracts kind of energy. Capricorn itself is like quite ambitious. And yeah, let's see if we can get a little bit more specific using this traditional tarot. Can we please have messages for pile 2 when it comes to this connection? Can we please have messages for pile 2, please? Can we please clarify this Knight of Wands energy? So lots of reversals on the bottom and then upward polarities on the top. This is interesting. L2, I'm getting that this is a bit of a sticky situation that you're in. I'm getting that you're in a situation with someone who potentially like struggles with like needing to feel like they're in control. And like there's a lot of beautiful qualities to them and a lot of ways that they show up kind of very much in integrity and kind of gallantly and maybe chivalrously. But then there's like this kind of like undercurrent for them where they really struggle with kind of letting go of control and meeting a connection as like equals. So yeah, I can see that you're in a very difficult situation. A lot of this energy here definitely feels like present energies to me, but it seems like this person is a very kind of like opinionated, passionate, kind of like this Aries fiery kind of energy. They might have some fire placements in their chart, like Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, somewhere important, like maybe their sun, rising, moon, or Venus, or their, what's the last one? Mars. Yeah, don't know how that took me so long to get it out. So yeah, lots of like fiery, passionate energy, but yeah, definitely this kind of like undercurrent of like needing to feel like in control. And like, I think for them, they're trying to find a lot more balance and an ability to kind of let some things go and let some other people have kind of some say in some things. But they're definitely having a difficult time with that because in their kind of like King of Pentacles energy, the shadow of this kind of like gallant and wise kind of leader and carer of like kind of all creatures and things and like manifest energy, the shadow of that can sometimes be quite controlling. Like there's a very fine line between being like really disciplined and like having like watching out for kind of your people and then like controlling your people. And it seems like at the moment, at least, they're on this like journey of like kind of like really discovering themselves and like kind of maybe fighting against some old patterns I'm getting and like trying to show up better for themselves and also for you and kind of like be your like protector, provider. This artwork, you can kind of see this is about one person like taking on so many others and like kind of being victorious and like kind of like winning the battle. But it seems like this in this like kind of competition I'm getting that essentially they've created like this whole like kind of thing around them going away and like doing work on themselves and like, you know, all that sort of stuff. They've kind of like, there's this undercurrent of them like needing to be like victorious and like recognized for that. Like they're definitely looking for some sort of like outward recognition. Like I don't think they necessarily want people to see them as these kind of like controlling and recognition seeking kind of a person anymore. Like they don't want people to like see that, but they know that it's there and they know that they're trying to kind of like let go of some of this shadow stuff because they're trying to feel a lot more fulfilled and stable in themselves and not have these kind of like undercurrents of insecurities going on for themselves anymore. But it's taking like a lot of learning and a lot of battling the beast within, like battling old patterns, old cycles, like their inner animal and like kind of like fear responses and stuff like that. And I'm sensing that kind of that battle with the animal within is essentially not going so well for them at the moment. And like their learning might not necessarily be going that well for them at the moment. So yeah, there's a lot of present energy that's like really sticky for this person. And so like, it seems like while things are sticky, because this person like really wants to come out victorious and on top and like this kind of like embody this kind of like more justice archetype instead of this like King of Pentacles shadow. Like it seems like they're kind of really like kind of resisting any sort of future in this connection, because like they're essentially frustrated with the way that they're showing up, and they know they're not going to be perceived the way that they want to be perceived. And maybe like you see through them better than anyone else ever has. And that's also a little bit scary and daunting, because they kind of like can't pull the wool over your eyes. And potentially that's what they have been doing with other people for a long time. And that's kind of like how they got to this place that they're in now, because they're kind of like the smartest person in the room. And so they didn't have to try so much, but now you're there kind of like really challenging them to like find their fullness when it comes to like being the best version of themselves in the world. And yeah, they're definitely feeling very challenged by you seeing kind of through their stuff. And it's kind of like, I'm getting that it's kind of like making them want to give up, because they're just kind of like in this like feeling of being like really caught out. Like they feel like you've really caught them out, like you've really seen like this like undercurrent of insecurity, and they're like right now at least kind of in this place of like, oh my god, like I can't do this, like this is so beyond me. I think underneath it all, they do like hope to be able to come out the other side, but I'm getting that they're potentially like holding all of their cards super high to their chest right now, because kind of like having a conflict between these two ideas, between like kind of like hope and seeing possible improvement for themselves, but then also like kind of feeling like giving up and feeling like they're never going to reach this potential that either you can see in them or that they want to see in themselves based on their connection with you. So yeah, at the moment they're definitely having this huge conflict. And I feel like they're just like very stuck in their head. Like their energy, they're not necessarily dwelling on the past, but they're also not envisioning a future, because they're just like really caught up in what they've got going on in the moment, like in the current time, and like trying to deal with it and like trying to move forward to this like future that they see, but also like being stuck with like these doubts that they're actually ever going to get there. Yeah, this person's definitely in a lot of conflict within themselves right now. Like I'm just sensing so much conflict. Yeah, I think definitely it's important for them to be in solitude and for them to figure out this kind of like journey on their own. Because I think like if they were to be in connection with you, it would like kind of challenge them too much. Like even being apart, like they're being challenged by the very idea of you. So they're really not going to do that well with actually being in connection with you and actually being like really challenged by your presence. I just heard, you know, there's a scene in Harry Potter where Tom Riddle says something about Dumbledore being driven out by the mere memory of him. It's kind of like I'm getting that this is a similar sort of vibe. Like they kind of, the mere memory of you is like kind of essentially kind of like driving them crazy, but also like trying to get them, like trying to drive them out of their own stuff, but then also like getting stuck in their own stuff. Like it's very messy. They're trying to find the way that they're sovereign though. They're trying to find like the best version of themselves. And I think this might also represent you a little bit in that they see you as very sovereign, and like you inspire them to kind of like reach the same level of sovereignty that you have. It seems like you might have a little bit more integration when it comes to like your shadow side, and that's how they see you as a sovereign being, and that's what they want. They want their shadow to be like integrated, because like what they may be seeing for themselves is like a pure version of themselves where the shadow doesn't exist, but we know underneath that is actually a desire for the shadow to be integrated. Like that's what all this is about. But them focusing on this purity maybe is what's actually getting them stuck, because they're like focusing on a reality where the shadow doesn't exist, rather than a reality where the shadow is just like an integrated part of yourself that you're very conscious and aware of, and that doesn't get the best of you anymore. Like I'm getting that has a lot to do with the kind of stickiness that they're in at the moment is like trying to get rid of the shadow instead of trying to integrate it. But I think this is all part of the path. Like I think them struggling with the shadow and eventually like sitting with it for a long enough time to kind of like get that it can be there and be peaceful without it like completely derailing their life is like essentially all part of their journey with this. And it's all just kind of got to play out. Yeah, so before they can have a new start, they've got to let all this like past stuff play out. Yeah, I think like they've definitely been struggling with this for some time by the looks of it, and they're definitely like kind of getting to the point where they're just so sick of it. Oh, this is the back of the card, back of the deck energy. You and your loved ones are safe. They're definitely like just so sick of it that I think they're kind of getting to a like kind of push point where they're going to be able to just let a whole bunch of stuff go and just accept a whole bunch of stuff, because yeah, they've really like been doing it hard for a while. And probably a lot of this has like to do with them just like listening to their ego too much, and a lot of fear of intimacy. Potentially like I'm getting that this connection maybe didn't end that well the first time around. Like I'm getting that they might have either ghosted you or just like been in this like runner dynamic the whole time. But know that they've been keeping an eye on you and potentially like stalking you a little bit on social media ever since they've been gone, because like it is really you and this connection that has inspired them to like start again and like try for something different, even though they're not like super clear on the future yet. They're definitely updating their conditioning. They're definitely replaying a lot of the conversations with you over and over in their head and like being very critical about the way that they showed up in those conversations, and figuring out like essentially how to wrestle with this animal within and get a different result. So they're like kind of right in the middle of this work right now. Like I'm really not getting that they feel very clear about the future. They're definitely replaying the past, but right now they're very stuck in their head in this and their stuff in this present moment. But let's get any affirmations for you, pile 2, to help you through this time. Can we get affirmations for pile 2 to help them through this time? I release all that confines me, I set myself free. Yeah, I think it might be an important step for you to kind of really set yourself free from this connection while this person's like kind of going through it. I don't think it's necessarily serving you to be like trapped by this connection. Like it's not like you can't care about them and whatever, but like really set yourself free from like being overly hung up on the future. Like I think potentially some of the reason why there wasn't a lot of future messages that came out in this reading is because like as far as spirit's concerned, like you don't need to be preoccupied with that. You just need to know that this person's really doing a lot of work in the present, and kind of just like leave it at that, I'm getting, and just like leave them be essentially. And you do you go on with your life. You be happy, you focus on you in this time, and just feel free from this connection, because they've got a lot going on, and it's not about you. Like it's not about how much they care about you, because they do care about you quite a lot. It's about you honoring what you need and what you deserve, and kind of like giving them the space and solitude for them to work out their stuff for sure. But I hope you got everything out of this reading that you really wanted and needed, pile 2. I'm going to leave that there. I hope it helped. If you can drop me a comment if it resonated, I would love to hear it. But if you can like, comment and subscribe, I would really appreciate that, because it'll help me stay on your feed for more intuitive tarot card readings for whenever you need it. But until then, ciao. Hey there, pile 3, welcome to your reading for the past, present and future of this connection. So if you chose this beautiful purple fluorite crystal, then this reading is probably for you. However, it is a general reading, so make sure you bring your intuition and discernment to any general reading you get, especially if your energy maybe slightly deviates from the collective for one or two of the cards. It's important that you use your own intuition and discernment to know what messages are for you and what's not for you, and what better interpretations there might be for your situation. But let's go ahead and get the themes for your reading, pile 3. Spirit, can you please have the themes for pile 3's reading when it comes to the past, present, and future of this connection? Whoa, the Destiny card coming out. It's always a good sign. Fire element of desire. I feel like that's another good sign. Okay, so pile 3, we obviously have the Destiny card for you, which is pretty self-explanatory. Then we have the fire element of desire, or obviously corresponds with both the wand suit and also Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo energy. So they're the 9th, 5th, and 1st house, and corresponding to Jupiter, Mars, and the Sun as well. We have the 11th house. I feel like Friends is like not the best explanation for this. I find the 11th house is a very spiritual sign and kind of shows how we're woven into the tapestry of life when it comes to how we relate to kind of people in general, like people around us, as far as like community, social media, friends, and kind of like all of those extended networks. Like, who are we in the network? It corresponds with Aquarius energy, which is obviously quite a spiritual sign, as well as Uranus and Saturn energy, which both have a lot to do with like honoring your truth, honoring your soul contracts here on Earth, and like how you're meant to relate to other people. Uranus energy is about the ways that you're unique and individual, and the ways that you can change the people around you. Then we also have the Cancer card, which corresponds with the affirmation I feel. It is the ruler of the 4th house of like family and love, and like comfort and how we feel safe, and like the home. It's ruled by the moon, which is all about like our emotions and instinctual nature, also our like subconscious and deep like inner world. But let's get more specific using this traditional tarot. Can we get messages for pile 3 in regards to the past, present, and future of this connection? Interesting. Can we clarify this 10 of Wands energy, please? And this 8 of Wands energy, please. Oop. Pile 3, this is the marriage card, so there's a good chance that this connection is building towards marriage or some sort of like long-term commitment. Based on the cards, it doesn't actually feel like there's a lot of history here, or if there is, it's like very much cleared. Like it feels like there's just like clear karma between the two of you. And like potentially like this is a time where the two of you are going to like fulfill some soul contracts that you made in this lifetime. As I was saying about the 11th house, it has a lot to do with like who we are in the grand scheme of life, in the tapestry of life, and the contracts that we've made with other people to have certain experiences. And it seems like this person that you're either thinking of or about to meet is like in that contract for you to like marry or have a very long-term commitment with, especially with this Cancer energy that's like has a lot to do with like the home and family. Like it seems like there's definitely this potential to build a real family with this person. And yeah, definitely like, especially with this Ace of Swords coming out, like aces represent like pure like potential and like kind of God energy. So it definitely feels like you're kind of like in this really new space and about to enter into this connection, or have just recently entered into this connection. But definitely where it seems to be heading is like marriage and commitment. But it does seem like right now in the present that maybe on your end there might be a little bit of like doubt and maybe like kind of not seeing how these energies are manifesting for you right now to bring you the things that you desire. So the Four of Cups is a very like content, fulfilled emotional energy. You can see that she's just like in full trust that she's going to have everything that she needs, and like there's just going to be an abundant flow of like love and energy and romance and things coming in. But this 10 of Wands upside down is telling me that maybe like you're not really seeing this, like you're not really seeing the fullness of like how you could be like fulfilled emotionally by this connection and the potential of this connection in terms of like long-term commitment, especially with this Queen of Swords coming out in reverse. So in its high polarity, like up the right way, Queen of Swords is like very perceptive, very intelligent, and she like just like kind of knows the truth. But yeah, coming out in reverse is kind of telling me that maybe like you're not seeing it for some reason. Perhaps there's some pain from the past that you're holding on to, or like maybe you're waiting on some sort of action from this person to kind of like get some confirmation in the physical. Like it seems like you're really waiting for some sort of physical like evidence. But know that like you don't need to wait for that physical evidence. Like it's important that right now in the present moment, like you connect with the truth within. This Two of Wands energy is all about kind of discovery and like finding your own like inspiration and insight, and like kind of deciding what you want to create in this life. So yeah, definitely in this present moment, I'm feeling like some blocks for you in like kind of like, it seems like you're waiting around for someone to like make evidence of like that they're going to be this like harmony partner card person. But yeah, Spirit definitely in this moment is like presently trying to teach you a lesson about like creating that security and stability for yourself, and finding that perception and truth within before you like to just kind of like stop looking without. Like you don't need answers from without, you need answers from within. And that's what Spirit's trying to teach you right now. Yeah, they're trying to be like way more balanced and content with like your own inner truth and relying on the outer truth a lot less, and the outer evidence a lot less. Like you don't need all of that. Like you just need the truth within. That's really all that matters. So that's definitely something Spirit is trying to teach you in this present moment. And it seems like it's something that's going to be important for you to actually experience the fullness of this connection. Like until you can kind of trust your own inner wisdom and guidance and inner knowing, like it seems like you're probably not going to be super content in this connection, and you're kind of like always going to be giving your power away to that other person until they kind of show you things, because you won't have the answers coming from within first. Like you won't, it's almost like a version of like not trusting yourself, not trusting your own answers, not trusting like your own like inner knowing. Yeah, so the Page of Swords is quite a like youthful kind of intellect or cognitive kind of energy, and this coming out in reverse is definitely telling me that like you're maybe like I'm getting kind of like a bit of a naive energy, or like maybe you have been naive in the past and that's kind of what's swaying you out of trusting your own truth. But I think it's really important that you understand how much you've grown, and potentially how much you've been growing out of this kind of youthful, naive kind of thinking, and how much more you can trust in your own intuition, and your own like inner knowing. Like, you know what's good for you, you know what people are good for you, you know what you vibe with now, and maybe you didn't in the past, and maybe it led you astray a little bit, but all of that was like lessons to kind of get you to this place where you can like trust in yourself. So yeah, definitely try not to let what happened in the past like stop you from trusting your own like inner knowing. Let's see if there's any oracles for you, pile 3. So I'm getting that maybe like your lack of trust in yourself might have to do with like some inner child healing that you need to do. Maybe like you were actually taught not to trust yourself like when you were super young. Like maybe that's why this naive energy came out. Like maybe it wasn't so much about you being in relationships as an adult, maybe it was about you being in relationships as a child. But it is important that you like cater to your inner child and like explore and play and have fun and like just see where things go without bringing in all of the like past pain, essentially. Because yeah, that can be super helpful within itself. But yeah, definitely like have a think about any inner child healing that maybe led you to the situation that you're in now in terms of not trusting yourself. And yeah, see what that has to tell you. See what you have to learn from that. Maybe there's some things to clear. Because I think you're definitely missing out on some of the beauty of connections in the world around you from this kind of like a little bit lack of like trust in your own inner wisdom. But no, definitely like that this connection that's like lined up for you, like it's kind of coming for you no matter what. So just really have patience with yourself and like try not to rush through this like inner child healing to like get this connection. Just be really patient with yourself and let it take time. Because it's like it does take time to be able to discern like what are like your intuitions and what are like maybe anxieties and what are maybe like, you know, like even some anxieties about someone that's actually about them potentially not being a good fit for you or whatever. Like let yourself kind of like move through the process of like not taking for granted these things that you learned in the past anymore, but like discerning like your own truth now based on the growing that you've done as a human. But let's see if there's anything else in the oracles for you. I think you really need to trust your own discernment a lot more, to be honest. So we have surrender to the divine, you're very close to achieving your goal. Yeah, so I think it's really important that you surrender to the divine and surrender to, like, part of the divine is your inner knowing. Like, your inner knowing kind of comes from the divine. They're like the same thing, essentially. So really surrender to that and know that, like, this connection is, like, just around the corner. Like, it's not very far away. So, yeah, just, like, at this moment, like, really focus on you and know that like there's something really good coming in. Yeah, this Phoenix is all about a new phase, transformation and growth. But yeah, until you get to that point where you kind of like start this new cycle and new relationship, spend time with friends, enjoy the last few moments of being single, because this might be the last time that you're single. Definitely let go of any past pain and heartbreak, especially as it has to do with this like inner child healing and like not trusting your own wisdom. But yeah, it's definitely, this new connection is going to be a lot more stable, a lot more secure, offer a lot more like growth. Yeah, your relationships are evolving into the next phase. We've also got healing inner child on this card as well. So definitely there's some inner child stuff coming up for you right now. But it's all like healing. Probably especially after hearing this reading, like you'll like just get some of your stuff a little bit more. And it could even be that simple in terms of like setting you on a new path for this new connection. Oop. Yeah, I think this is going to hit you like a sudden change. It's going to be like an epiphany. Like I was kind of just talking about that, and then this epiphany card like tried to come out. But let's get a affirmation for you, pile 3, to help you through this time. Let's get an affirmation for pile 3, please. So we have compassion flows naturally from me, from the heart of my inner being, and I release all that confines me. I set myself free. So definitely set yourself free from this inner child stuff, and really connect to the heart of your inner being. So there's so much wisdom there that you're missing out on right now, because you don't trust it, but you should. Like you're very like intuitive and wise, and yeah, I think there's a lot that you can know before it necessarily has to happen in the physical, and that's beautiful. But I think I'm going to leave that there, pile 3. I hope you got everything out of this reading that you really wanted and needed. It was a pleasure reading for you. My name is Jade Rewilding, and I will be on this channel doing intuitive tarot card readings for whenever you want and need. If you can like, comment, and subscribe, that will help me stay on your feed, which I would really, really appreciate. But until then, ciao.